Well, hello, Michael here, looking again today at Psalms 29, but focusing on verse 8 through 10 for the exposition. This psalm, which is subtitled, Ascribe to the Lord Glory. Let's go ahead and read those three verses, 8 through 10. Verse 8. The voice of the Lord shakes the wilderness. The Lord shakes the wilderness of Kadesh. Verse 9. The voice of the Lord makes the deer give birth, and strips the forest bare, and in his temple all cry, Glory. Verse 10. The Lord sits enthroned over the flood. The Lord sits enthroned as King forever. And so let's look to the Treasury of David, as written by Charles Spurgeon, for the exposition. Verse 8. As the storm traveled, it burst over the desert. The voice of the Lord shaketh the wilderness. The Lord shaketh the wilderness of Kadesh. God courts not the applause of men. His grandest deeds are wrought where man's inquisitive glance is all unknown. Where no sound of man was heard, the voice of God was terribly distinct. The vast and silent plains trembled with affright. Silence did homage to the almighty voice. Low-lying plains must hear the voice of God as well as lofty mountains. The poor as well as the mighty must acknowledge the glory of the Lord. Solitary and barren places are to be gladdened by the gospel's heavenly sound. What a shaking and overturning power there is in the word of God. Even the conservative desert quivers into progress when God decrees it. Verse 9. The voice of the Lord maketh the hinds to calf. Those timid creatures, in deadly fear of the tempest, drop their burdens in an untimely manner. Perhaps a better reading is, the oaks to tremble, especially as this agrees with the next sentence, and discovereth the forest. The dense shades of the forest are lit up with the lurid glare of the lightning, and even the darkest recesses are for a moment laid bare. The gloomy woods start at the flash, and from their deep recesses, wide flaming out, their trembling inmates shake. Our first parents sought a refuge among the trees, but the voice of the Lord soon found them out, and made their hearts to tremble. There is no concealment from the fiery glance of the Almighty. One flash of his angry eye turns midnight into noon. The gospel has a like revealing power in dark hearts. In a moment, it lights up every dark recess of the heart's ungodliness, and bids the soul tremble before the Lord. In his temple doth every one speak of his glory. Those who were worshipping in the temple were led to speak of the greatness of Jehovah as they heard the repeated thunderclaps. The whole world is also a temple for God, and when he rides abroad upon the wings of the wind, all things are vocal in his praise. We too, the redeemed of the Lord, who are living temples for his Spirit, as we see the wonders of his power in creation and feel them in grace, unite to magnify his name. No tongue may be dumb in God's temple when his glory is the theme. The original appears to have the force of everyone crieth glory, as though all things were moved by a sense of God's majesty to shout in ecstasy, Glory, glory! Here is a good precedent for our Methodist friends and for the Jew-Gornies of the zealous Welsh. Verse 10. The Lord sitteth upon the flood. Flood follows tempest, but Jehovah is ready for the emergency. No deluge can undermine the foundation of his throne. He is calm and unmoved, however much the deep may roar and be troubled. His government rules the most unstable and boisterous of created things. Far out on the wild waste of waters, Jehovah plants his footstep in the sea and rides upon the storm. Yea, the Lord sitteth king forever. Jesus has the government upon his shoulders eternally. Our interests in the most stormy times are safe in his hands. Satan is not a king, but Jehovah Jesus is. Therefore, let us worship him and rejoice evermore. Yes, indeed. Jesus is Lord. Trust you enjoyed the meditation. Michael here declaring, as I said, Jesus is Lord. Until next time, be blessed.